Hey there, and welcome. We're about to dive into a way of thinking that could honestly change everything about how you and your partner handle those tough moments. Whether you're just starting out or you've been together for ages, we're going to look at reframing conflict, not as a sign that something's wrong with you, but as a totally predictable biological pattern. And the best part, you can actually work with it. Let's get right into it. You know the one I'm talking about, right? It starts with something so small, maybe the dishes or a missed phone call. And then bam, before you know it, you're on that same old merry-go-round, feeling completely disconnected and just not heard. But what if the reason that fight keeps happening has almost nothing to do with what you're actually fighting about? And that feeling, it is 100% real. In fact, some relationship experts have a name for it: low-intensity chronic warfare. And yeah, it sounds pretty dramatic, because it is. This kind of quiet, constant friction is one of the most destructive forces in a relationship. These aren't just little arguments. They're actually a really big deal. So this brings us to a really powerful shift in perspective. Instead of getting stuck asking, what is wrong with us? What if we started asking, what's happening inside our bodies right now? Just that one question can be a total game changer. And this is the central idea, the biological glitch. Seriously, think of it like a piece of software that just runs automatically whenever a certain button gets pushed. Can you imagine? In the middle of a tense moment, being able to think, oh wait, that's not them. That's just their biological glitch firing off. That thought alone creates so much space and compassion, you know? This slide right here shows probably the biggest glitch of them all. It's called the armor illusion. Just look at the top half. Inside, we might be feeling anxious or scared or like we're losing control. But on the outside, how does that come across? Often as being critical or controlling. Now look at the bottom. Inside, we might feel this deep sense of shame, like we're a failure. But on the outside, that looks like defensiveness, aggression, or just shutting down completely. Our partner never sees our soft, vulnerable inside. They just see the spiky armor. Okay, so how does this glitch get started in the first place? Well, it usually happens when our primary biological systems, let's call them our love engines, are running on empty. I want you to picture your relationship like a two-car garage. On one side, you've got this heavy-duty diesel truck built to solve problems. That's the testosterone engine. And on the other, you've got this sleek, high-tech electric car designed for pure connection. That's the estrogen engine. And here's the kicker. These two engines run on totally different kinds of fuel. The testosterone-dominant engine, it thrives on feeling effective, capable, and trusted. It needs appreciation. The estrogen-dominant engine, on the other hand, its core need is to feel connected and emotionally safe. It runs on feeling cared for and truly, deeply heard. And just to be clear, we all have both of these systems, but usually one is our go-to engine when we're under stress. So let's get really specific about the fuel. For that testosterone engine, feeling appreciated and trusted actually makes them feel more loving, more protective. It's about feeling like a hero in their own story, you know? And for the estrogen engine, it's things like romantic rituals or even just focused listening, not trying to fix, just listening, that naturally bring down stress levels and rebuild that feeling of connection. So we know what fuels the engines, but what happens when those tanks run completely dry? Well, that's when the biological glitch really takes over. The whole engine just stalls out, and that triggers a really specific and often a really destructive biological backfire. Let's just walk through this glitch, the fear-shame loop, because seeing it laid out is everything. Okay, step one. One partner feels a little spark of fear, a sense of disconnection, maybe even abandonment. Step two. To deal with that fear, they push. They might get critical or demanding, trying to get control back. But, and this is step three, the other partner doesn't hear the fear. They just hear the criticism, which triggers their own core vulnerability, shame, feeling like a failure. And then what happens? Step four, to get away from that horrible feeling, they withdraw, they shut down, which, of course, just makes the first partner feel even more alone and afraid. And so the loop begins again. This image right here, this shows that whole vicious cycle in action. It's like an invisible tug-of-war, where one person's fear triggers the other person's shame, which then just pours gasoline all over that initial fear. This is the biological glitch at its worst, a perfect, tragic circle of panic that will repeat forever until you finally see it for what it is. Okay, so seeing the loop is a massive first step, but how do you actually get out of it? That's the million-dollar question, right? So let's get into the good stuff, the practical, real-world tools you can use to escape this trap and start refueling your partner's engine instead of draining it.
I absolutely love this tool. It's called the Hormone Check-in, and it makes everything we've talked about so simple. Just look at what drains each tank. For the testosterone partner, it's that feeling of being criticized or not trusted. For the estrogen partner, it's feeling emotionally alone. Now, look at what refills them. This isn't rocket science. It's as simple as a thank you or 10 minutes of focused listening.
And the key here is to make these little refills a daily habit. We're not talking about huge romantic gestures. It can be as simple as what some people call the duct tape habit, just biting your tongue instead of offering that unnecessary correction. Or how about just graciously accepting a compliment with a simple thank you? Or putting your phone away, all the way away, for 10 minutes of listening with no agenda to fix anything. These little things are the nuts and bolts of keeping your relationship's biology in balance. And what's so cool is that when you consistently start refueling those tanks, the entire energy of the relationship starts to shift. It literally changes the physics of how you connect with each other. And that brings us to one last really powerful way to think about this. I want you to imagine that you and your partner are two magnets. When you're stuck in that fear-shame loop, it's like you're trying to force the two north poles together. You can push and push, but all you're going to get is resistance. You just repel each other. But the moment you break that cycle, the moment one of you offers appreciation instead of criticism or shows vulnerability instead of defensiveness, you flip your pole. You step out of that armor, and suddenly, you create attraction. So this changes everything, doesn't it? Conflict is no longer this big, scary thing about who's right and who's wrong. It's just a manageable issue of biological alignment. You can feel that tension start to build and think, oh, okay, our poles are just reversed right now. Let's do a quick hormone check-in, refuel the tanks, and flip them back. It shows that a lasting, deep connection isn't about luck. It's about understanding this biological blueprint and learning how to work with it. And that right there is where all the power is.